Hello, good evening, Gilbert. How are you?
Hi, teacher. I'm tired. I'm playing soccer in this moment.
Okay. Oh, you're playing soccer now?
Yes.
Okay, but you have the time to have the conversation, right?
Okay.
Okay, good. And how are you doing? How is the game? Are you winning? Or how is it going, your game?
Okay, a ver.
All right, can you hear me, Gilbert?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good. So let's continue then practicing this, all right? I don't know if you remember we were reading this article and you got to read, do you remember if you read the first paragraph or the second paragraph, Gilbert? Do you remember if you read one or two paragraphs?
Yes.
It was the two
Uh,
paragraphs that you read, right?
my reaction with friend has forgotten already.
Okay, great, exactly. And you were telling me how you would react, right? Good.
Yes.
So let's continue with these two paragraphs over here, please, Gilbert, to continue with the article. These ones over here. All right, let's read them, please.
Okay. This tendency to scream out and self-pushing could be described as much shame. They believe that having bad feeling is a personal failing. Continue looking on the bright side of life makes it seem strong, even, even courageous, but if it's taken too far, we will beat ourselves up for perfectly reasonable response to events, while it's natural that we may prefer to avoid uncomfortable feeling like disappointment, worry, anger, or sadness, resent, psychology, research support the idea that the server uses full full force in our life by learning to see that value and accept those feelings without judgment. We will enjoy better physical and mental health.
Thank you, Gilbert. So we're going to first work pronunciation, all right? This one is going to be, let's repeat, please, tendency.
Tendency.
Good, very good. I'm going to be deleting. Give me a moment. Tendency, very good.
Tendency.
Even,
Even.
good. Courageous,
Courageous. Courageous.
great. This one, reasonable,
Reasonable.
good. And in this one, don't forget the yes, right? Because it's plural, so responses.
Responses.
Okay, good. This one, the stress is in this part, Gilbert, like uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Ajá. And in this one, en este es como si la O prácticamente desapareciera y vas a hacer chocar solamente la F con la T, más o menos así. Uncomfortable, uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Good, that's way better, great, very good. This one, read this first you, please, Gilbert. How do you read this word?
Useful.
Great, it's good, correct. This one?
Purpose.
This E is going to be more noticeable, like purposes. Good. Great. And this U, ¿no? Y esa U suena una mezcla rara entre una E y U como purposes. Great. And this one, this U becomes like a judgment. Great. Now I'm going to ask you about some parts. For example, here, How can you explain this part, Gilbert? It says this tendency to screen out. It says to identificar. A self-punish could be described as mood shame, colon, the belief that having bad feelings is a personal failing. How can you describe that one, Gilbert?
I don't understand.
Okay. For example, try to define once again. Do you remember mood shame, right? I explained that to you the previous conversation. What is mood shame, Gilbert? How can you explain mood shame?
Shame. The personality.
Okay, it's
Similar.
better to. Okay, keep going, please.
La forma, o sea, como que la actitud, the attitude, person, or no?
Okay, it's the attitude from someone, right? From a person. But what exactly? ¿Qué exactamente? What example can you give me? Try to give me an example.
The reaction, the reaction, the different situation.
Good, exactly. It's related to the reactions that we have. And one example could be, for example, what is mood shame? If the thing that we were talking about, Gilbert, right? Your friend, your best friend forgets your birthday, and you are angry, but you don't want to show that you're angry, right? And you say, it's okay, right? It's not important. So, is that mood shame or not? What do you say?
Mood shame es no importara o algo así.
Okay. Mood shame is related to be ashamed of your emotions, right? No como avergonzarte de tus propias emociones,
Okay.
right? That's going to be mood shame. And here they say the following. Vamos a entender esto todo. Gilbert says, right? This tendency, esta tendencia to screen out, right? De identificar, de sacar, de resaltar, and self-punish, ¿no? Y autocastigarte could be described as mood shame. Se puede describir como esta vergüenza emocional. The belief that having bad feelings, así, esa es la definición real que da el artículo. The belief, la creencia, right? Belief significa creencia. That having bad feelings, que tener emociones negativas o malas, is a personal failing. Es un fracaso personal. All right, so this is negative. Of course, mood shame is wrong. ¿No? Mood shame es incorrecto, está mal. Porque según esto es un fracaso personal, right? And it continues in the next part, Keeper. This part, let's try to understand this first together. Vamos a tratar de entender primero esto juntos. It says, continuously looking on the bright side, right? The good side, the positive side of light might seem strong, right? Even courageous, right? Courageous. So what do you understand up to this part, Kiefer? ¿Qué entiendes desde esa parte? Continually looking on the bright side of life might seem strong, even courageous. What do you say?
Scream out and looking on the bright side seem strong. Mirar la actitud de las personas.
All right, it's related to that one. But if we analyze only the first part, si analizamos solamente la primera parte, ¿no? Vemos que dice, continually looking on the bright side, ¿no? Continuamente mirar al lado brillante, al lado positivo of life, ¿no? De la vida, might seem strong, ¿no? Puede que parezca fuerte, ¿no? Puede que parezca una actitud de fortaleza, all right? Even courageous, hasta valiente, ya, incluso valiente, right? Courageous es como valiente, ¿no? Con valentía. Parece, te dice acá, ¿no? Might seem, parece. But if it's taken too far, ¿no? Pero si se lo toma, se lo lleva demasiado lejos, right? Far lejos. Taken, tomar. Si se lo ha tomado demasiado lejos, we may beat ourselves, puede que nosotros nos lastimemos a nosotros mismos, for perfectly reasonable responses to events, ¿no? Por perfectamente, ¿no? Por razones perfectamente razonables a ciertos eventos, right? For example, if your friend forgot your birthday, ¿no? Si tu mejor amigo olvidó tu cumpleaños, es razonable que te tengas que enojar. No es que sea débil que te enojes, right? It's good because it's normal. While it's natural, right, it says, mientras que es natural que nosotros podamos preferir evitar situaciones incómodas, right? We might prefer to avoid uncomfortable feelings, ¿no? Sentimientos incómodos, like disappointment, worry, anger, and sadness, ¿no? Como decepción, disappointment, worry, preocupación, anger, enojo, or sadness, ¿no? Tristeza. Recent psychological research, ¿no? Los estudios, estudios psicológicos recientes support, all right, supports, apoya la idea that they serve useful purpose in our lives, ¿no? Que esas emociones de estar tristes, enojados, preocupados o decepcionados tienen propósitos útiles, right? Useful purposes, propósitos útiles in our lives. Okay, en nuestras vidas. So that's it, Gilbert. Let's try to do the following. Ahora que sabemos más o menos lo que significa, try to explain one more time, please, Gilbert, in English in your own words. How can you explain these two paragraphs in your words, Gilbert?
Yes. Describe the reaction of the person. The person who is courageous, valiant, and the attitude of people reasonable, right, uncomfortable feeling like disappointment.
So in that one, to compliment Gilbert, I think it's good what you're doing. One question, according to this article, ¿no? Según este artículo, according to this article, is it okay to be happy every time? Is it okay to see the bright side of the life? What do you say? Is it okay to see always the bright side of life? Yes or no? What do you say?
No, teacher.
Okay, correct, right? No. No es bueno tratar de ver siempre el lado positivo a todo según ese artículo. Good. The next question. Is it okay to feel disappointed, worried, angry, and sad? Is it okay to feel disappointed, worried, angry, and sad? What do you say? Yes or no, according to this article?
Yes, it depends the situation.
Exactly, right? It depends on the situation, but it's okay. ¿No? Si te sientes decepcionado, triste, está bien, right? You don't have to avoid those feelings. No se tiene que evitar esos sentimientos. You have to express those feelings, right? Los tienes que expresar. In a certain way, ¿no? De cierta manera, tampoco es que te vas a desquitar con alguien, right? But good, exactly. So it says, it's not okay to always look at the bright side. No es bueno ver siempre el lado positivo a todo. And it's okay to feel disappointed, está bien sentirse decepcionado, or let down, ¿no? Como vimos la anterior vez, let down, decepcionado. To be worried, estar preocupado. Worry es el sustantivo, preocupación, y worry, con ed, es el adjetivo, ¿no? Estar preocupado. Anger, right? Anger es enojo, el sustantivo, and angry es el adjetivo, ¿no? Es estar enojado. And sadness es el sustantivo tristeza y sad es el adjetivo triste. Right? So let's repeat this to remember. Para recordar estas palabras, leámosla por favor, Gilbert. This is going to be disappointment, worry, anger.
Disappointment,
Good.
worry, anger, or sadness.
These two. This G is going to be more like only G, like anger,
Anger,
good, and sadness.
anger, sadness,
Good. The adjective of disappointment is disappointed. Disappointed.
disappointed,
Good.
disappointed,
The adjective of worry is worried. Worried.
worried, worried,
Good. The adjective of anger is angry. Angry.
angry,
Good. And the adjective for sadness is sad.
sad.
There you go. That's it. Do you have any questions, Gilbert, to finish out? Let me know, please.
No,
So we're going to finish here. Please, as always, I'm going to ask you to fill out the survey, answer the questions, and then you may leave the conversation. Thanks for being here. Have a good night and see you tomorrow in class, Gilbert.
Bye-bye, teacher.
Bye-bye. Good night. Hello, good evening, reader. How are you? How do you feel today?
Hi, teacher. Everything okay? Thank you.
Great. That's great to know, reader. So I have two options, reader. I know that some of you prefer to work with only like some articles or working with videos, audios, according to what you believe you need to work on, right? I'm going to give you suggestions, but I believe that you are good in most of these skills. So this is the options that I'm giving you, reader. Do you want to work with this article? This article is related to psychology from the BBC. It's a very recent article. Let me see. It's from 3rd January, all right? From not so many days ago, perhaps 1 month. Or we can work with this. If you remember, this is something we were doing on the last class. This is from the BBC. It's an audio from this podcast about bees to discuss the importance that they have. So which one do you want to work with, reader? The article to read it or this audio to listen to it?
The article, teacher.
Okay, let's go to the article then. This is the headline. Let's start, please, reading this headline here.
Why mood shame is bad for you?
Great. It's a very short headline, but it's very important to understand this expression, mood shame. How can you define or how can you explain this, reader? Mood shame. What is it for you?
I don't know, teacher. Shameless.
Okay, in shame, for example, you can see, I can give you this example. You are in front of a lot of people. Okay, let's say that you have a presentation and a lot of people is there to see you. All right, and then you make a mistake and you feel ashamed. Right? That's related to shame. All right, that's a shame. I'm ashamed. All right, that feeling right in front of public that you do something wrong and you feel ashamed. So if that is something related to shame, mood is related to, okay, I think I'm happy today, right? That's my mood. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, and so on. So if you put those two together, reader, what do you think then that mood shame is? Any guess would be okay, right? You don't need to give me the exact definition because we're going to learn that today.
Feel ashamed of something.
Okay, to feel ashamed of something good.
Yes.
Great. And in this case, it's to be ashamed of your own emotions, reader. All right. For example, if you're angry, you don't want to be angry because society tells you that you always need to be okay, right? Keep smiling, be okay, look at the positive side of everything, and everything is okay, right? According to this article, don't pretend that you're happy all day long, right? Don't don't pretend that you're happy all day long, right? Every day, because that's not possible, and that's bad for you. All right, so that's it. Let me know if you have any questions about this expression before going to the article, reader.
No, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, so having that in mind, here we're going to learn, I think, many new expressions and words. That's why I chose this article. Let's read that one now, please, reader.
It's sometimes tempting to beat yourself up for not feeling sunnier, but there's a good reason to embrace those grumps.
Okay, thank you, reader. Only these two words first in pronunciation. This is going to be first embrace and this grumps. Let's read those two, please, reader. Embrace and grumps.
Embrace grumps.
Okay, now how can you explain this, reader, in your own words? What is this telling us? It's sometimes tempting to beat yourself up for not feeling sunnier, but there's good reason to embrace those grumps. So how can you explain that in your own words?
Mhm. Um, it's it's tempting to punish yourself for some reason.
Correct, that's the first part. I agree. That's a very good similar word to punish yourself, right? In this case, when you are not happy, right? For not feeling sunnier is the same as when you're not happy, right? It's tempting to punish yourself, right? When you are not happy. But the next part says, but what is the next part? What is this article saying in the next part?
Teacher, what is grumps?
All right, Grumps, I don't know if you saw the cat over here, right? The cat was angry, was like, okay, that sound, those are grumps. When you're angry, you have those grumps, right? Hey, do you want to do something? Right? So, what do you say?
Uh, but there are good reasons to be hungry.
In other words, yes, yes, actually, you can say that straightforward and say, yes, actually, this article is telling you that. Sometimes you want to punish yourself, right? Because you are not happy. You say, I have to be happy, right? I have to smile every day. I have to smile every time, right? That's what society tells me. That's why I believe is best for me. But this article is telling you that, reader, it's correct. There's good reason to accept, right? Those bad feelings that you have, those negative feelings that you have, because they are part of what you are, right? Either if you're angry, either if you are sad. In this case, with grams, they are talking about anger. So good. There's a good reason to accept, all right, that anger. Good. Do you have any questions about this part before going to the next paragraph? Let me know, please.
No, teacher.
Okay. Now let's go to read the next two paragraphs together because they give a question and an answer that it makes clear the idea. So let's read those two, please.
Okay. Imagine that You just experienced something unpleasant. Your friend has forgotten your birthday. You've been rejected for a new job, or you've just woken up on 4 January and remembered you need to go to work. How would you typically respond to those feelings? You might try to tell yourself that it doesn't matter and not to let it get to you. You might try to avoid thinking about the bad news, and when it does seep into your conscious consciousness, you question why you're so thin-skinned.
Thank you very much, reader. So, good. Again, as always, everything is very good. These things that I marked, okay, are only because of some details, but very, very little and subtle details. In this one, remember that as the C is not as strong, right? It's only going to be like one T sound. So it's only going to be experienced, right? Like experienced. Let's repeat that one, please.
Experienced.
Good. This one, this E and A together are going to make more like an E, so it's going to be unpleasant, unpleasant.
Unpleasant.
Good. In this case, the yes, most of the times we call it as, or we pronounce this as A, right? Good. But as we have a double consonant, the double T, that A is going to change to only A. So it's going to be matter, matter. Let's repeat that one, please.
Mother.
Okay, this one was good, only that S and C together is going to be more like sh, like consciousness, consciousness.
Consciousness.
Good. And finally, this one's good also, but the same logic with the ED, so it's going to be thin-skinned, thin-skinned.
Thin-skinned.
There you go. Thank you very much, reader. So again, how can you explain this information, reader? Try to explain in your own words, please.
Um, mm, talk about how mm, how you feel about bad news.
Correct, exactly, exactly. They are giving some examples, right, about some bad news, let's say, right, for example, the birthday, being rejected, to wake up, right, at a certain day to go to work, and they answer the question, right? And the next part, how do people usually respond to those bad news, reader?
Um, I don't know, teacher.
Right, if you
How,
realize in the
how
second part, yeah, tell me, reader.
how you react to the bad news, teacher?
How do people, right, usually or typically respond to those bad news? In general, right? What do people do? You can use the information from the
They
second part.
okay. They ignore the bad news.
Exactly, right? That's the most common thing that people do. They ignore that, or at least they want to ignore the negative part of it, right? And they say, right, it doesn't matter, right? I didn't get the job, they rejected me. It's okay, right? There are many other jobs. So you say, it's okay, right? I'm not sad, I'm not angry. It's okay. And not let it get to you, right? You pretend that you are very strong and you say, come on, it's only one job. I'm going to find the next one. And it's okay. I'm not saying that it's bad, but this article is telling you that that's what people do. And they avoid thinking about the bad news, right? As you said, that they ignore. They want to avoid those bad news. But at a certain point, you cannot avoid that. And you think, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Right? I'm not that good, or should I do this and that? And you feel bad, you feel angry, you feel sad, and when you do that, you believe that you are thin-skinned. Actually, you are not, but you believe, or people believe that they are. So what do you think that is thin-skinned according to this context, reader?
I don't know, teacher.
All right, in this case, it's something kind of negative, and they believe that it happens. Thin-skinned is like sensitive, okay? Like, oh, you feel sad for everything, or you get angry easily, right? I do something for you and you get angry. So sensitive, okay? Talking about emotions. So people believe that they are thin-skinned, they are sensitive if they feel bad for being rejected. But that's normal, right? It's normal if you feel like that. They are only explaining that people believe that, all right? So after this part, a reader, let me know if you have questions about the words here. Is everything clear? Do you have questions about some words? Let me know, please.
Yes, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, good. Perhaps we're going to continue with this one next class. All right, you're going to let me know. This article is available for you on Google Classroom if you want to finish reading it. And we're going to try to work with some other things as well, all right, according to what you believe is better for you, reader. So let's finish up here, please. As always, let's fill out the survey. It must be down below. Let's do it and that's it. All right, thanks for being here and have a good night, reader.
Thanks, teacher. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, bye-bye. Hello, good evening, Rodrigo. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Hello, how do you feel today?
I'm uh, I'm fine.
Okay, that's good to know, Rodrigo. So let's continue working with this. If you remember, we were reading about mood shame, right? What do you remember about this article to start with, Rodrigo?
That people have different ways to express their feelings, and mm, and that principle.
Okay, good, exactly, right? And in this article specifically about that way of expressing feelings, they are telling you that you shouldn't be ashamed of your feelings, of your emotions, right? If you are sad, it's okay to be sad, right? If you're angry, it's okay to be angry. You don't need to be happy every time, right? In other words, they are telling you that. It's not that you are sensitive, if you remember, it says that, but it's normal. It's something that humans do. So I think we were able to read up to this part, Rodrigo. Is that correct? Were we able to read that information?
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue with these other two elements, please, over here to continue with this idea. Let's go, please.
Okay. This tendency to screen out and self-punish could be described as mood shame. The belief that having bad feelings is a personal failing. Continually looking on the bright side of life might seem strong, being courageous, but if it's taken too far, we may beat ourselves up for respect for perfectly reasonable response to events. While it's natural that we might prefer to avoid uncomfortable feelings like disappointment, worry, anger, or sadness, recent psychological research supports the idea that they serve useful purpose in our lives. By learning to see that value and accept those feelings without judgment, we may enjoy better physical and mental health.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Now, before going to the words, okay, even before the pronunciation and before the specific words, in general, with only the words that you were able to understand, Rodrigo, what can you tell me about these two ideas? First, you can try to tell me the definition of mood shame in your own words, and then try to explain right what they are explaining on the second part. What do you say?
Um, well, the explanation of those words, I don't know. I don't. Uh, but this second part says that the people try to avoid these bad feelings um, because uh, mm, because it's like fear uh, and to be judged for the other person, maybe.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, you can say to be judged by the other person, right? To be judged by the other person. All right, now let's work together. Actually, in the first part, if you realize, they are giving us a definition of mood shame. But of course, we can interpret that in many ways. So it says, right, mood shame is the belief that having bad feelings is a personal failing. In other words, you can say that mood shame is weakness, all right? Is when people believe that they are weak because they feel bad, because they feel angry, because they feel sad, all right? In other words, they are saying that. Again, mood shame is believing that is bad, that is incorrect, that is weak to have feelings that are not happiness, that are not joy, okay? If you don't have those ones, then you are not good. You have to do something to feel better again. All right? That's in other words. That's what they are saying. Mood shame is bad for you because to be sad, to be angry, it's okay. That's what you are, and you have to accept that one, and you have to let that go. And in the next part, yes, that says right. They say that looking at the good side, right, at the bright side, at the positive side of things, right, it's good. But if you do that very often and you take it too far, right? Yes, everything is good, everything in life is perfect, I'm always happy, right? Blah, 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 blah. You are going to beat yourself up. You're going to punish yourself. You're going to self-punish for things that are reasonable, right? If, for example, you are in a relationship and you break up with your couple, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, right? You cannot be like, it doesn't matter, right? It's just one person, it's okay, I'm okay, right? That's not normal. That's what they are telling, right? So that's why they say we might try to avoid disappointment, worry, anger, or sadness. But psychological research shows that it's not good to do that, that you should do something with it because they have useful purposes, okay, according to that psychological research that they are going to show later on, because this is part of the BBC. It's okay to feel that, all right? It's useful and it's good to do it, all right? In other words, now, I want you now to try to explain one more time, please, Rodrigo, using the information that I gave you. Try to explain one more time this information over here, and then we're going to go to these words that I marked and other words that you may have questions about. All right, so one more time, please, Rodrigo. How can you explain these once again? In general, right? In general, this information, how can you explain?
Oh, the same that it's natural to feel other feelings that different of happiness, or maybe for that it's that, or it's other question.
Okay, yes, according to this point, right, mood shame is that belief, right? But that belief is incorrect. But what do you say? If I ask you this question, Rodrigo, according to this article, is it okay to always see the positive things of life? Is it okay to always believe that everything should be okay or not? What do you say?
Mm, I don't know. Mm, I don't know.
All right, according to this article, right? Well, what do you say? I'm hearing your microphone with some noises, Rodrigo. I don't know why. It's like it's moving.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I am on the street and it's now hard, so the cars are fast,
Okay.
fast.
All right. All right. So it's okay. Then one more time, a different question. According to this article, is it okay to have or to feel disappointment, to feel worried, to feel angry and sadness? Yes or no? What do you say?
Yes, it's normal.
Okay, good, very good. And with that logic, okay, with that logic, you're telling me it's correct. Again, I go to the first question. According to this article, is it okay to see at the bright side of life every time? What do you say?
Mm, um, I don't know if every time, but sometimes possible. It's
Okay,
not the life.
good. Exactly, right? And they are telling you that. They are telling you it's okay to look at the bright side of life, but don't take it too far, right? Don't exaggerate. Don't believe that everything, right? Everything without exception in life is good. It's positive. There are good things that are some other things that make you feel bad, and it's okay, right? So good. It's like a balance, right? Not exaggerating. Now, this one, how can you explain this? Only two words, then I'm going to work with those in the last minute, please. Rodrigo, personal failing. What do you think it's a personal failing?
It's like a mistake.
Okay, good. It's related to that. Personal failing is a mistake or any event that is not positive for you, right? Kind of like rejection, like something that is not good for you. But yes, a personal mistake sounds good for that one, Rodrigo. So again, mood shame is believing that having bad feelings is a mistake and you shouldn't have those. But again, that's an incorrect belief according to this article. Now let's work these words, please, Rodrigo. This one we're going to repeat: courageous or courageous.
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 correct, correct,
Okay, good. Reasonable.
reasonable,
Sorry, this one, anger.
anger,
Good. Psychological.
psychological,
Good. Value.
value,
Good. And judgment.
judgment.
Good. Do you have any questions about words over here? Let me know, please.
Um, yes, courage. That I cannot.
Okay, to be courageous is, for example, if you are in war, right? Let's say that you're in war, you're a soldier, and
Uh,
someone asks, right, who can go there? And you say, I can do it, right? And he says, okay, you're very courageous. Okay, it
oh,
means that you are not afraid of anything, that you can do it. You don't fear anything. All right, that's courageous.
okay.
What else?
Um, no, the rest of the words I can understand.
Okay, good. Now, just to finish, I'm going to mark these words. I know that you get it, but just to be sure, screen out is going to be like remove or take away. Okay, remove or take away. Self-punish, right, to punish yourself. These words are very interesting because all of them are nouns, right? The disappointment, the worry, the anger, the sadness. But if you want to use adjectives, it's going to be disappointed, ed, worried, ed, angry, ry, that's different, right? Ry, sad, right? So these are nouns, but you can use also the adjective form of these words. And that's it, all right? If you don't have no more questions, please, let's fill out the survey. It must be down below, Rodrigo, for you to answer the questions. And we're going to finish with that one. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night and see you tomorrow, Rodrigo.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Joanna. How are you? Is everything okay?
Yes, teacher.
Great. That's great to know, Joanna. So let's start with this one. We're going to keep working with this audio, right? We were working up to this part. If you remember, we were saying, but the sad truth is that B numbers are declining, right, at an alarming rate. So we're going to continue listening from this part, Joanna, and again, try to listen as much as you can. All right, part by part, only part by part. Here we go.
Sad truth is that B numbers are declining at an alarming rate and in some places disappearing altogether.
And
Okay, so we're going to repeat all that idea. The last part to practice. Alarming rate, ¿no? A un ritmo alarmante, and in some places disappearing altogether, right? Y en algunos lugares desapareciendo. That one. Let's repeat that, please, Joanna.
Okay. Alarming rate, and in some places disappearing altogether.
Great, thank you very much. No, así lo hicimos también la siguiente parte, but just for practicing.
Alarming rate and in some places disappearing altogether.
and this has serious consequences for humans.
Right, and also that we practice, and this has serious consequences for humans. Okay, so that's the last thing that I'm going to show you before listening to the next part. So, sorry, I cannot find it. There, let's repeat that one, please, one more time, Joanna. And this has serious consequences for humans.
And this has serious consequences for humans.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm going to turn on the captions. Los apago los subtítulos. Entonces, desde esa parte, intentemos escuchar lo más posible. Here we go.
For humans,
Today, 1/3 of the food we eat depends on insects to pollinate crops, fruit and vegetables.
Okay, I'm going once again.
Today, 1/3 of the food we eat depends on insects to pollinate crops, fruit and vegetables.
Okay, one more time. Again, try to get as much as you can, Bridget.
Together.
and this has serious consequences
Okay, from this part.
for humans.
Today, 1/3 of the food we eat depends on insects to pollinate crops, fruit and vegetables.
So, what do you hear there, Joanna? What can you tell me on that part?
And today, okay. 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 Pensar insect the pollinate and vegetable and fruits.
Okay, we're good. Yes, all those words were mentioned, Joanna. Good. We have today, we have insects, we have pollinate, we have fruits, vegetables. Great. So let's listen once again to try to get everything.
Together.
And this has serious consequences for humans.
Today, 1/3 of the food we eat.
Okay, today, 1/3, okay, 1/3 of the food we eat, right? Hoy, un tercio, okay, 1/3, no? Uno, third, tercero o tercio, 1/3 of the food we eat, ¿no? De la comida que comemos.
Depends on insects to pollinate crops, fruit and vegetables.
Depend on insects, right? Dependen de los insectos to pollinate, ¿no? Para polinizar. Y habla de ejemplos de qué? Crops, de cultivos. Y da los ejemplos.
But bees are in
Sorry, a little bit before.
Depends on insects to pollinate crops, fruit and vegetables.
Right? Crop, fruits and vegetables. ¿No? Cultivos, frutas y vegetales. So let's see the words, Joanna. So it's this one, right? Today, 1/3 of the food we eat depends, right? Un tercio de la comida que comemos depends on insects to pollinate, ¿no? Depende de los insectos para polinizar crops, cultivos, fruit and vegetables, frutas y vegetales. Let's repeat that idea, please, Joanna. Let's read everything.
Today, 1/3 of the food we depend on insects to pollinate crops, fruits, and vegetables.
Okay, good, good. Only 2 words. Vamos a practicar solamente 2 palabritas. This one, la A un poquito más como él, like pollinate, pollinate.
Pollinate.
Good. This one only like fruit, fruit.
Fruit.
Ajá. La I prácticamente desaparece, ¿no? Más que todo como una U un poco más distorsionada como fruit, fruit. One more time, please.
Fruit.
Great. There you go. So let's keep going. All right, let's keep going.
But bees are in trouble. In some European countries, up to half of all bee species are facing extinction.
Okay, up to that part. There's a lot of information there, so one more time. And 5 seconds is too much.
On insects to pollinate crops, fruit, and vegetables.
Okay, from this part. So let's listen to the girl.
But bees are in trouble. In some European countries, up to half of all bee species are facing extinction, placing our food supply chain at risk.
Okay, one more time.
Trouble. In some European
Crops, fruit, and vegetables.
But bees are in trouble. In some European countries, up to half of all bee species are facing extinction, placing our food supply chain at risk.
All right, so what can you tell me about that, Joanne? What is the girl saying there?
These aren't trouble. In the same April, fasten extension places. That's it, teacher.
Okay, good, good. The most important thing there is facing extinction, and that's very important. All right, se enfrentan a la extinción, right? Facing extinction, and we're talking about bees, right? Abejas, bees. So, good. I'm going to play once again, Joanna, and we're going to listen to some details. I'm going to repeat, right?
In some,
sorry, a little bit before.
In some years,
not even before. Okay.
On insects to pollinate crops, fruit, and vegetables.
But bees are in trouble.
Right, but bees, las abejas, right? Si te das cuenta, no decimos the bees, no decimos las abejas, solamente bees, ¿no? Abejas, porque estamos hablando en general de todas las abejas. But bees are in trouble, ¿no? Las abejas están en problemas.
In some European countries, up to half of all bee species are...
Okay, in some, en algunos, algunas, right? In, preposición, some, algunos, algunas. Europe es Europa. European, europeo, europea, right? European countries, no, country, país, countries, países. European countries, países europeos, right? In some European countries, en algunos países europeos, they are, okay, more up to, it says, okay, up to half of the bees species, ya más de la mitad de las especies de abejas are facing extinction, right? Están enfrentando extinción, están lidiando con la extinción, right? And that put at risk, right, the food supply, ¿no? Ellos ponen en riesgo justamente la provisión alimentaria. So let's have that idea and we're going to start reading. Okay, It says, right? But bees are in trouble, period. In some European countries, up to half, until that part, please, Joanna. Let's read everything you have there.
But bees are in trouble in some European countries up to half.
Good. Only this word, please, Joanna. This is going to be more like you, European.
European.
One more time, and this like E, right? So European, European. One more time, please.
European.
Good. European. ¿No? Son como dos, esas S se convierten en I directamente. European. It means europeo o europea, right? En este caso, europeos. Pero los adjetivos nunca tienen S en inglés, ¿no? Por eso dice European countries. Eso sí puede ser plural. Good. Up to, ya hasta, half of, la mitad de, ¿qué? Let's go to the next part. Of all bee species, de todas las especies de abejas, are facing extinction. Están enfrentándose o lidiando con extinción. Placing our food supply, ¿no? Localizando nuestro suplemento de comida, ¿no? Alimentario, chain at risk, nuestra cadena, ¿ya? De suplementos alimentarios en riesgo, at risk. So let's read everything, please, here, Joanna.
All these species are facing extinction, placing our food supply chain at risk.
Okay, good. These words, please, Joanna. This one is going to be more like species. Species.
Species.
Y nuevamente, la E prácticamente desaparece. No existe una E, sino se cambia por una E. O por una I, perdón. Right? One more time, please. Species.
Species.
Okay, good, good. Placing this one more time. How do you read this word, Joanna? This one over here.
Supply.
Good. This one.
Chain.
Chain. Good. So, great. I think we're doing good. And again, this is the way of practicing. One more part. Only one more part, but with the captions, so that you listen and read.
Supply chain at risk.
Bees are vital in pollinating hundreds of crops from apples and blackberries to cucumbers.
Okay, that part. One more part.
Facing extinction, placing our food supply chain at risk.
Bees are vital in pollinating hundreds of crops from apples and blackberries to cucumbers.
Okay, that idea, please, Joanna, just to practice again and improving and practicing this skill. Bees are vital, okay, vital or vital, in pollinating hundreds of crops, from apples and blackberries to cucumbers. Let's read that, please, to finish today, Joanna.
Bees are vital in pollinate hundreds of crops from apples and blackberries to cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Okay, good. Only 2 words to finish, please. Don't forget about the ing here. Pollinating. Pollinating.
Pollinating.
Good. And cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
There you go. Okay, that's it, John. We're going to keep practicing next class more about the bees. I'm going to tell you more information about this video as well. All right. To finish, I don't know if you were able to answer the questions from the survey. Joanna, were you able to answer to those questions?
And yes, teacher, I complete the survey when I joined.
Okay. When I join. Great. Thank you then, Joanna. That's it for today. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. All right?
See you, teacher.
Bye-bye. See you. All right, so let me see. Mauricio, you're here. How are you, Mauricio? Good evening. How do you feel today?
Good evening, teacher. I
Hello.
feel so tired. I came back to the from the gym, and my computer is not working. I am from my cell phone.
Oh, don't tell me that. Okay, well, the good thing you went to the gym, but the bad thing is that your computer is not working. What's happening? It's not turning on, or do you have some problems with it?
I don't know. It shows a message that it has some problem. It had some problem, and it will respond.
Oh, a reboot?
In automatically, and I'm still waiting like 10 minutes. I
And
don't
it's
know what
still doing
happened.
that. Oh,
Yes.
well, that's weird. And how old is your computer, Mauricio?
Um, it's kind of new. It's 1 or 2 years.
All right, it's not that much. That's weird, right? I hope that it gets solved. If not, you will have to look for a technician, right, for solving that problem.
Yes, it's the first time it happens. I don't know why. It's
Okay.
weird.
Yeah. You need your computer, right, for working also with some platforms here, or do you use your cell phone for everything? No, right?
No. I
Okay. You use the computer as well, right?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that gets solved, Mauricio. Let me know how it goes, all right? And if you have some problems, also let me know, because you may need to finish, right, the assignments, and perhaps you need the computer for that one. If you cannot solve that problem, let me know so that I can give you some more time to finish the assignments, because remember that everything is until tomorrow, right?
Okay, teacher. I will check it. I will check it out today. But if it's still not working tomorrow in the morning, I will get another computer from my parents or my brother, maybe.
Okay, Maurice. But again, I hope that your computer it gets repaired or it fixes itself. If not, again, you find another solution. But
Wait, eso.
hello, Mauricio. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher, and now I can.
Okay, thank you for waiting. Yes, I don't know what happened. I got disconnected, but well, the thing is that now it's working. So I was telling you, right? We were working with this article about mood shame, right? The belief that if you are sad or angry, it's bad for you. But that's incorrect, right? Because you should express every feeling, every emotion that you get. So we were reading, and we actually finished reading the first two paragraphs. I only have one question for you. Then it's this one. At the end, when they say, you'll question why you are so thin-skinned. What do they mean when they say this, Mauricio? And in general, you can only explain this adjective over here. How can you explain this one? What is thin-skinned for you?
Mm, mm, I don't know, teacher.
All right, a synonym for this one is going to be sensitive. All right, sensitive. So people believe that the best thing to do with bad news is ignore or avoid those bad news, right? I got rejected from that job. It's okay, right? It doesn't matter. It's only one job. But you know that you feel bad because of that. In a certain way, it's okay to accept that you feel bad. People say it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. It's okay. They are not going to let it get to them. And they say, come on, it doesn't have to affect me. That's let something get to you, right? They try to avoid thinking about those bad news. They say, it's okay, right? Everything is okay. So they pretend that they are happy, they pretend that everything is okay, but it's not. And they don't accept their feelings, their emotions. And they say, but in a certain point, right? At a certain point, it gets into your consciousness. And you say, I think that I'm angry, right? For what happens. I'm angry, I'm sad. When you accept that, you say and you question yourself, am I too sensitive? Am I too weak for letting those emotions get into me? All right, so thin skinned is sensitive, thinking that you are so weak that you are going to be affected by emotions, but in reality, it's not that you're weak, right? It's something that is normal. I don't know if with that explanation you understand this idea with this adjective, Mauricio.
Yes. Now I understand.
Great. So having that also, I gave all that review to get to the next part. Let's continue working by reading these, please. These two ideas and paragraphs over here. Let's do it, please.
Okay. This tendency to screen out and self-punish could be described as mood shame, the belief that having bad feelings is a personal failing. Continually looking on the bright side of life might seem strong, even courageous, but if it is taken too far, we may beat ourselves up to perfectly reasonable responses to events. Well, it's natural that we might prefer to avoid uncomfortable feelings like disappointment, worry, hunger, or sadness. Recent psychological research supports the idea that they serve useful purposes in our lives by learning to see that value and accept those feelings without uh, judge, uh, judgment. We, we may enjoy better physically and mental health.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. So good, very good. Now, before going to those words, all right, I'm working with pronunciation, and before going to extra explanations, try to answer these two questions, please, Mauricio. First, how can you define mood shame? Okay, how can you define mood shame? And the second thing, is it okay to see or to look at the bright side of everything? Yes or no, and why? How can you answer those two questions?
For me, good shame is uh, trying to avoid or be too much patient to those situations who may uh, take you I don't know the expression teacher if it's correct drive you off.
Okay, okay, yes, it depends on the context. What do you mean when you say that, to see if it's okay? How can you
It,
explain that expression?
I think it's when you don't control or maybe express yourself like it is in a bad way. I think it's like expressing everything you feel.
Okay, I think it's good. I think it's very good. Good, let's keep
And
going, please.
okay, and I think is it defines mood shame when those in you you trying to avoid those emotions that drive you off, and it's not bad because you may supposed to feel that and you are trying to not in order to maybe make someone feels better or something like that.
Okay, great, great. I think that was a very, very good explanation and definition for that one. You can use that expression, it's correct, Mauricio. There was only one thing that was not a mistake, but only the order. And instead of an to not, okay, you're going to say first not to. Okay, so it's
Okay.
something that may affect you and not to say the negative for that infinite. That's the only thing, Mauricio. Everything else seems to work great. Now, for the second question, right, to look at the bright side of everything in life, is it okay to do it? Yes or no, and why? It's related to the answer that you gave.
Mm, I think that usually is correct. Uh, you may you may be you may be a positive person when looking in opportunities and trying to avoid uh, bad behavior or bad bad vibes. And this supposed you to help. This supposed to help you with everything in your day, like waking up and saying today is going to be a good day, and not trying to expect that it's going to be a bad day.
Good. I agree with you. And when they say in the next part, because it's important to look at the bright side of life, right? If you don't do it and you're focused on the negative side, then everything is going to go bad for you, right? But when they say, but if it's taken too far, what do they mean when they say this for the rest of the information, Mauricio? What do you say?
Sorry, teacher, what expression?
This one. But if it's taken too far, right? This idea of looking on the bright side of life. If this is taken too far, what happens? What do they mean when they say this?
Mm, when it's too hard to see the positive way of the things.
Okay, could be related to that. Or also, if you realize reading the next part, they are saying if you exaggerate, if you are too radical by believing that everything has a bright side, according to this article, right? That's
Okay.
my thought. So they say if you want to see the bright side, right, to everything, and you say, I'm happy, I'm smiling, and it doesn't matter what happens, right? I'm always going to be happy and I'm always going to smile. And this article is telling you, but come on, that isn't that too much, right? Is that something that is okay for you? And they say, right then, well, it's
Okay.
natural that we might prefer to avoid uncomfortable feelings like disappointment, worry, anger, and sadness. This research, okay, psychological research, it shows that it's okay that you don't see, that you don't look on the bright side of everything, because it's also okay to sometimes accept that some things are not bright and some things are sad, are disappointing, are worrying, right? And it's good for you to do it. I don't know what do you think about that to finish now, hey Mauricio.
I agree with it, teacher. because everything has limits, and in this case, you can't take everything like a positive thing in your life. In some ones, you have to make a stop and try to avoid this way or looking for another way or look
Great.
for another way.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mauricio. And yes, I think that I agree with this idea. To finish today, please, Mauricio, these words were read correctly. There was only some little thing that was not good in terms of sometimes stress and emphasis on some vowels. This one is going to be courageous. Connection, Mauricio. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me?
Teacher?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me, Mauricio?
Yes.
Okay,
Courageous,
good. Thank you. Reasonable in the first part, the stress. Reasonable.
reasonable,
Good. In this one, try to drop off the O and the R and only like uncomfortable, uncomfortable.
uncomfortable,
And again, try to avoid that O or only like uncomfortable, uncomfortable. One more time, please.
uncomfortable,
Good. That's great. And the last one, value, value. There
value.
you go. That's it, Mauricio. Do you have any questions before finishing? Let me know, please.
Teacher, una pregunta rápida. ¿Cómo es mi primer examen? ¿Cómo es el examen? ¿Tengo que sacar fotos o es todo por la plataforma?
No, don't worry about pictures, screenshots, or anything like that, Mauricio. Everything is on Pearson. Tomorrow I assigned that one. You have the weekend to take it. And as soon as you finish, everything is on Pearson automatically. Everything is graded automatically. You don't need to do anything. All your grades and everything is going to be there as soon as you finish your test. I have access immediately to your tests as soon as you finish. So you don't need to send anything. Just take it on the platform, finish, and that's it. I have access to everything immediately. All right?
Ok, teacher, entonces la clase de mañana es normal y tengo todo el fin de semana para hacer el test.
Yes, that's correct. Tomorrow's class is like any class, and at the end of the class, I assign the quiz, and you have until Sunday, 11:59 p.m. to take it.
Okay, teacher, that's all for today.
Great, perfect. So don't forget, please, down below, as always, Mauricio, you have the questions next to chat, right? The polls. Let's answer those questions, and you may leave today's conversation. Thanks for being here. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, teacher, have a good night too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, and you're here with me, Camila. How are you, Camila? Good evening. Is everything okay?
Good evening, Jose Luis. Yes, actually, I recently started with you, well, today. So I am a little bit lost with everything.
Okay, don't worry. I'm here to help you out. All right?
Okay.
So Ruth told me about you. So what I told her is that today I'm going to guide you. Usually we use these days, all right, Tuesdays and Thursdays, to have practice, all right, with speaking, with listening, with reading, and so on. But today I'm going to help you out first joining Pearson. The first thing I would like you to do, please, Camila, is the chat. I'm sending a link. Go to that link and read. Ruth told me that you already have your username and your password to join Pearson. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, I was trying to join to the course and I top when the page told me that you need to give me like a code or something like that?
Exactly, good. So I'm going to help you with that one. So once you sign in, I'm going to show you just in case, all right, step by step, so that you are familiar with this. Once you are here, again, the product that we use is Pearson English Interactive 4, right? The green one.
Yep.
Over there, everything, and also I'm going to do this first. We also use, at least I do it, we use Google Classroom. I'm sending the link also to the chat. It's over there. Join that course, please, because all the information that you need in case you want to watch the previous classes, you want to have access to my presentations and many other details, everything is over there, all right? I use this platform to organize all that information. If sometimes, for example, you don't have my help and you want to find the ID, you go here to courses information and contact, courses presentation, calendar, and so on. You click there. This is a Janelli presentation. And when you are here, you go to Pearson. And here you find all the information that you need to join. And this is the ID for this course. You have it over there, but again, I'm sending that to the chat. And there you go. All right, so that's the ID. Do you know where to put that ID?
I think that is in like a label that it says join a course, and after that it says enter a course ID.
Great.
It's right?
That's correct. You're going to be asked one question, Camila, that is the following. Do you want to bring your grades or transfer the grades with you? You have to select the option no, or don't transfer that with me. Once you do it, you're going to be in the course. Let me know when you do it, please.
Okay. It says joining a course is in progress. Please
Great.
check later.
It must be done. You can refresh the page. Okay, refresh it, please. And I'm going to check it now for you.
Okay, I think that
yes.
I'm in the course.
You are here, right? What's your username, Camila, just in case?
Let me see. I don't know by memory, so it is student 9.EEO.
Right, good. So yes, you are here, Camila. That's great. Now, let me show you. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the way you use Pearson is very, very simple. In course, here you have access to all the material that you have in your account. For example, I think that you have access to the green product, all right, in general. Here you're going to see that you are in this course. It says A11, right, 31 January 2022, and my name. If you see that one, then you are in my course. You're going to see that in this course, you are working with Model B. And in Model B, you have like sub-models, or we're going to call them units, from 1 to 4. This month, we are going to work with these 4 months. Every week is going to be 1 unit. So we started on Monday, and this unit is supposed to finish tomorrow. Your partners have until tomorrow to finish all these units, all right? All the assignments that are part of this unit. And tomorrow I'm supposed to assign the quiz for this first unit so that you can take it until Sunday. But as you are new, right, this is what you have to do, please. All the first activities, the classes that we got are on YouTube. And to find the YouTube channel, Camila, again, is courses, information, and contact, right, on Google Classroom, Classwork. And it says YouTube channel, Zoom link, and Pearson. Click there, and here you have access to the channel. All right, in that channel, my advice is to try to catch up with your partners. Watch the first 2 classes. It's not important to watch the conversation. I'm going to show you. Okay, the conversations are like this in Spanish, okay, because that's why what managers asked. But it's important that you at least can watch the first class, 1 out of 12, and the second class, all right, 2 out of 12. Those are the first 2 classes that we had on Monday and on Wednesday. Try to watch those classes whenever you can, please, Camila, because there I'm explaining some important information, not only about the course, but also about the contents that we were covering. That's the first part. Let me know if you have any questions so far, Camila. Is everything clear so far?
Everything is clear so far.
Okay, good. So once you do that, you catch up with your partners watching the classes, you have to come here and go to assignments. All right, you can do that along with me. And on assignments, you're going to see that you have a lot of things to do. But don't worry, because they are not long assignments or tasks. For example, these learning objectives is only clicking there, reading that window that is going to be opened, and select finish, because the only thing that you have to do there is reading. Also in unit summary, you open that one, you see what's this unit about, you finish reading and you close it. All right, some of these documents, some of these assignments are only for you to read. You finish reading and you select finish or send, and that's it. Some of them are going to contain exercises for you to complete. For example, these listening exercises. You have to watch videos or listen to audio files. Once you listen to that, you have some questions that you need to answer. All right. It happens the same with listening, vocabulary, speaking, and so on and so forth. Everything is done here, Camila, in assignments. Be sure that you're in assignments, because you can do the same in course. Okay, if you go to course, you also have access to all that information. But if you complete all those exercises here, are only going to be for you to practice. They are not going to be evaluated. All right, so that they are evaluated, they have to be completed here on assignments. All right, take a look at that, please, Camila. Go to assignments and let me know if you can see the assignments that I already assigned.
Well, I am in assignments, and the first one that appears is Talia's brilliant plan, resources, learning, and objectives.
Very good, very good. It says, let me go there one more time. Please give me 1 second.
Okay.
It's down below. This one. Good. It says Model B, right? Model B and B1 at the beginning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Good. So that's it. So you already have access to those assignments, Camila. What I'm going to do now, as you can see on my screen, I'm going to extend the date for you. It was supposed to be until tomorrow. It's always like that, all right? It starts on Monday and it finishes on Friday. You have those 5 days to finish all these assignments. But I'm going to extend this until Sunday, please. It's important. Why? Because on Monday, we have to start with the next lesson. If you have questions about what you're doing, you can ask me tomorrow in class, also Monday at the beginning of the class, and even on Tuesday on the conversation time that we have like today. You can ask me the questions about Unit 1 on those days. All right. But to complete everything, please, you're going to have until Sunday, 11:30 p.m. Again, it seems that it's a lot, but if you just sit there and spend at least 1 hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes, you are going to be able to finish everything. Okay, so the first unit until that day, Sunday, this Sunday, and also the first quiz. But the first quiz is going to be assigned tomorrow, and the same. You only need to open the quiz here in the same platform. It's going to be like this one, but it's going to have like a little hat above. All right, and it's going to be test. Once you open that one, it's always going to be the last assignment, Camila. Once you open that one, you have a timer. Okay, for the assignments, no. For the assignments, you can finish assignments in the time that you want. But for the test, you have 50 minutes for the quizzes and 60 minutes for the final exam. Once that timer is up, all right, the assignment is going to be closed automatically and everything you did is going to be sent automatically. Usually you don't need that much time. The students can finish the quizzes and the final test in even less than 50 minutes or 60 minutes. But that information is important because if you are doing something and you stop and you want to continue later on, it's not going to be possible for you to do it because the timer is going to keep going. All right, do you have any questions so far?
No, everything's very clear.
Great. And the last part, because that's Pearson, all right? You do everything here. Everything is graded automatically, Camila. So To be sure how you're doing, you go here to Gradebook. All right, and on Gradebook, you're going to be able to see all the score that you have so far. For example, this is, all right, from your banners, I can see that most of them didn't do it, right? Most people do it at the last time. So the ones who did it, as you can see, this person has 100, but this person only completed 4 out of the 40 assignments. But again, you can do the same. You go to Gradebook, and here, of course, you're only going to be able to see your scores. This is the overall score. If you want to see the scores in detail, Camila, go here to the left, open Model B, and you can click on every unit in the first unit, right? This is the first unit. You want to see how you did it in the video listening, click there, and you're only going to see the score for video listening. If you want to see the same for grammar, click there, and you're going to see the score for grammar and how many assignments you completed. And if you want to see again your overall score, your average, click once again on model, and you're going to see the overall score that you have. Exactly, the average of the overall score that you got. And that's it. I think that's the most important thing that you should know about Pearson. And perhaps this is the most important thing about the program as well, because everything, all the information is centered here. Let me know if you have questions or comments about this.
I think that is very simple and very intuitive, so I don't think that I'm going to have any problems.
Great, that's great to listen to Camila. But again, in case you have some problems, questions, or something you want to tell me about the platform, about Google Classroom, or about the class in general, you can let me know, all right? In Google Classroom or on Google Classroom, you have access to also this part. Okay, if you click there, you can contact me directly, or simply you can send a message to the WhatsApp group and I'm going to be able to answer back, or perhaps also the coordinator is going to reply. Any questions, don't doubt, all right? You can contact me or you can contact Executive English, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Good. That's it then. I think that's the most important thing for you to know to be part of the program. In general, the structure is like this. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are for group classes. You are in A11, so you're going to start every of those days at 7:45 p.m. until 9:20 or 9:25. Those are going to be group classes. It means that it's going to be you and your partners, all right, in class with me. I'm going to be explaining the most important things about the units we are covering. You're going to be writing examples that I'm going to be correcting at that exact time, all right, using Google Docs. I'm going to show you some examples. This is what we use. We use Google Docs. You write the examples over here. I give some explanations as I was doing there. And here you have your name and your examples. And after you write examples, I give you some corrections, suggestions, and some other details that you may take into account. But that's the logic more or less for, again, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, like today, you have to schedule, you have to book a conversation with me on the web page. I think Ruth already explained how you need to book the class because you are here, right?
Yeah, actually, she sent me like a PDF with all the instructions, so it was very easy.
Great. So again, actually, it's up to you. It can be every Tuesday and Thursday that you do that, or you can spend like 10 minutes one day and you can book the conversations for all the months.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. And again, these days are usually for practicing speaking, listening, and reading mainly. But if you have questions about the class before, you may ask me about it, and I'm going to spend these 15 minutes to help you out with those doubts. All right. And again, that's it again in terms of the structure and everything. Do you have any questions about that or anything else that you would like to know? Let me know.
Actually, I think that I'm okay, but I was trying to understand a little bit of the classes. So we're going to have like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays this type of class with the Google Docs, and we are going to practice our speaking and our reading, I guess, our writing.
Exactly. Mainly what you do in classes is practicing your writing a little bit with me. Also speaking, okay? Speaking and writing in classes, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's for that. But mainly for me to give you explanations about the contents we need to cover. And to be sure that you understand everything, I ask you examples, all right? And you can give me those examples by writing sometimes, and sometimes by speaking or having conversations with me or with your partners. But Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be exclusively to practice speaking and reading, because after you also listening and reading, because we're going to read articles and then you're going to explain everything you were able to understand. So it's going to be reading and speaking and listening by watching some videos or listening to some audio files. And after that, again, you tell me everything you understand, and then we have conversations about it. That's more or less the dynamic that we follow.
Okay.
All right, good. Any comments or something else? Camila, let me know, please.
I think that for now, I understand everything, and I think I'm going to have questions ahead. I'm not sure.
You have to say ahead, right? On the road ahead. Good. Great. So again, if you have them, just let me know. Today, we used that time for doing this, which is very good. But this is the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do, please, Camila, so that you can start practicing. You have two options. I'm going to ask you about this on Tuesday, okay? Next week on Tuesday. On Google Classroom, you have this article. It's in Unit 1, all right? Unit 1, scroll down, it says Practice 1. And this is one article that says why mood shame is bad for you. Okay, it's from the BBC, as it's a very recent article, okay, 3rd January 2022. So please try to read at least the first 4 paragraphs. All right, try to read the first 4 paragraphs, and I'm going to ask you some questions on Tuesday. That's the first option, okay, you can do this. The second option is, again, go to Google Classroom and go down until Unit 4, and down below it says Speaking and Listening Practice. Okay, open that one, and one of the documents that are there is a video, and it says Box Set, 6-minute English. Click there. It's going to be a video, again, from the BBC, and here you have a lot of videos inside that one, all right? Go only to the second one. If you scroll it, you're going to see that the second one is there a future without peace? The second option is that you go here and listen, at least if you have the time, listen to everything. It's only 6 minutes, this part, or at least the first 2 or 3 minutes. And again, I'm going to ask you questions about it. Okay, so those are the 2 options that you have. That's going to be for Tuesday, so that on Tuesday we have a conversation about this, and we can read and listen into something else afterwards. Let me know if you have questions about that.
Okay, so only I need to choose only one, right?
Only one of them, exactly. Reading the article, the first 4 paragraphs, or listening to this audio file, the first 3 minutes at least, if it's possible, the 6 minutes. All right?
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
And that's it. That's going to be it then for today, Camila. Every day after finishing the conversation, I don't know, let's try to apply also this for you. Down below in the toolbar, next to chat and participants, Camila, you may see one option that says polls, all right, or polls next to share. If you click there, you're going to see some questions. Usually you have to answer those questions after practicing. Today you didn't practice with me, so this is optional. If you feel that this was helpful for you in a certain way to practice something, you can answer those questions. If not, you can fill them out directly starting tomorrow after the class and Tuesday after the next conversation. All right?
Okay.
Good. That's it then. Let me know, are you going to be able to fill it out today, or do you feel that it's better to start tomorrow filling out these type of questions?
I think that tomorrow will be better, because today I think that I could only answer the first one. So I'm not sure it's like helpful or not. So
Okay, yes, let's do it. I think the same, right? In management, they asked me to ask you to fill it out, but I also believe that it's not a good idea to do it today because we didn't practice the way we were supposed to practice, right? But anyway, it was nice helping you today, Camila. It was nice to meet you as well. If you want to know more about me, also on Google Classroom, you have the first presentation. It's about me. There you can read a little bit about it. All right. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow in class to practice with your partners. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. And that's it. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Jose Luis.
You're welcome. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.